Let's go. It's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show.
Which one, old man, that ain't got time? Shake your head. Get that side check. Put it in pockets like it's back. Going downtown.
Okay, so Dragon Quest is one of my favorite series of all time, and I actually enjoyed the last Dragon Quest Heroes game quite a bit. If you haven't seen my review, go check it out to see why I liked it, and definitely worth picking up at the price point it is at now. So Dragon Quest 2 was announced pretty soon after, and I was actually excited because they were talking about getting a little bit more in depth with the RPG elements, and that made me very excited. So Dragon Quest 2 is newish. It's kind of like they take the first game, but they definitely go more Dragon Age with it. Dragon Quest with it. But does that mean that's a good thing? Well, let's find out right now.
Which one, old man, that ain't got time? Shake your head. Get that side check. Put it in pockets like it's back. Going downtown.
So like I was talking about in the beginning, one of the things they kept talking about was enhancing the RPG elements in this game, and I definitely think they did a good job here. You have what worked in the first game, so you still got leveling up, you still got stats, you still got new weapons. However, it all feels more prominent here, like you actually need to level up to beat bosses or enemies. I really enjoyed that factor. Also, one of the cool RPG things in this game is, unlike the Dynasty Warriors games where you just play level by level by level and then you beat the map and you're done, same thing with the last Dragon Quest, this one actually has more of like a hub world and like a free roaming world where you can run around and kill people, kill monsters, find treasures, and locate special items, different things like that. Just give it that more RPG feel. I don't want to say it's as RPG in depth as something like the Dragon Quest games prior, like the actual Dragon Quest games or like Dragon Age or anything, but I definitely feel it's more in line with like a Zelda game, not as in depth as the newer ones, but maybe the old ones. So I like that feature in this game. I thought that was enhanced the game overall because you do have the Dragon Quest name in it. Also, the combat, it stays actually pretty much similar to the first one. I thought it actually had a little bit more depth in this game. You can switch weapons with your main characters. Each character definitely plays and feels different. You have a ton of different weapons in this game because you acquire so many different characters and their different movesets. Each character has their own individual special attacks, and as you level up, you get new special attacks. And the combat is Dynasty Warriors like, but since you die quicker in this game due to your level not being as high, unlike Dynasty Warriors, let's be honest, you only die against Labu. Fuck that motherfucker. That you actually have to level up in this game. You have to dodge and you have to block. So this game definitely has a pretty good amount of depth in its combat, and it's slick and easy to use, so that's always a plus. Another thing I really liked is there's a lot to explore. Like I was talking about, you got these free zones that you can explore, but when you go into missions, they're pretty decently sized maps. I mean, some you could finish in 5-10 minutes, some take 20-30 minutes. Also, a new cool feature is you can now play online co-op with other people. Love it. I just do. I always like co-op features in video games, and it's kind of cool to have people help you in real life because the AI in this game can be a bit iffy at times. So having that feature is something very cool. I wish there was couch co-op though, something I think they just missed on. And last but not least, the best thing about this game is it feels like a Dragon Quest world. All the characters obviously are from Dragon Quest. Even the newer ones, they're not from one of the games, but they feel like they belong in the Dragon Quest universe. The world feels like Dragon Quest. The monsters definitely feel like Dragon Quest. And it's like a nice alternative from the Dragon Quest games that we get in the RPGs, including Dragon Quest X that's coming out soon. So this is like the nice alternative, something different, yet it still brings the world of Dragon Quest to life. One thing I noticed about my 10th hour to 15, I'm about 20 hours in, and it's really getting stale now. It actually started getting stale around like the 8-hour mark, which was really weird because I was enjoying myself, but I was also saying it's not giving me enough to enhance itself. And the reason why is because the combat, while it's more in depth than the last game, it's not like amazing. But the biggest fault, and this is going to get to my other problem, is the story. It is boring. It is flat. It is outright stupid. Now, you expect this from a game that's combining multiple characters from different Dragon Quest games. It's obviously not going to be that great, but all the characters just act really lame. Like, they're all like, oh man, I'm the swordsman from this, blah, 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 and you're just like, Okay, and what are you going to add to the story? Well, I can do this. And I'm just like, who cares? Like, there's no draw to the story at all. Not that the last one had a great story, but it was more of like, yeah, we're just putting a bunch of these characters from the different games in it. I was like, okay, this game, they do the same thing. Like, dude, just try to make a fucking good story and have some in-depth characters. Have something. I just felt all the characters in this were kind of boring. And it's a shame because I like all these characters from their own games, but they don't really work together well in this. They just come off really, really bad, to be honest. Another thing is the difficulty spikes. They just pop up out of nowhere. 1 second you'll be just owning drones of people, and then the boss pops up and you're like, oh, punch him, and he kills you in one shot. You're just like, what the fuck? It happens randomly in this game. It more so than any other game like this I've seen. You know, like Labu and Dynasty Warriors and other Dynasty Warrior type games, there's always those enemies that really fuck you up. This game, though, it's just like it gives you no warning. They don't even look special. They look like every other enemy, yet they kill you so quick. So that was kind of annoying with the difficulty spikes occasionally happening quite a bit in this game. And my last problem is this definitely feels less polished than the first game. What do I mean by that? Kind of feels like it's just taking the first game and putting a bit more, but instead of giving us like a brand new feeling or giving us so much new that we're overwhelmed, feels like they just kind of sparkle it, like this is the expansion and I hope you enjoy. But the bigger problem I have with it is there's more glitches. I don't know if anybody else suffered this, but I suffered 4 in my first 10 hours. 2 were major, where I went to go find an enemy and my screen just turned white. And I'm just like, okay, and then nothing happened. And my other thing is, like, I kept trying to equip a weapon and it kept unequipping. It was really weird. And then my last glitch that I had was super weird, where the story wouldn't go forward, and I had to go back to a save point an hour before that to even continue. So there's definitely more glitches in this game, and I don't know if it's just me and I unfortunately had a bad disc or something, but that was definitely more in this game than the previous.
Waits for no man and ain't got time to shake your hand. Get that side check, put it in pockets like it's back. Going downtown.
Alright, so it sounds like I'm just bashing the game because you just heard me complain for 3 minutes, but overall, Dragon Quest Heroes 2 is actually still really a fun game. I had a good time with my time. I never felt like frustrated except for those couple of difficulty spike moments, but overall, I just can't like tell you to go buy this game. I really can't. Not at full price. Maybe when it's like 20 bucks. What I would do is get the first game, which I thought was more fun and it was different at the time, and then come back and get this game when it's cheaper. It definitely adds to the overall gameplay of this series now, but I just don't think it's worth full price or even near it. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I think it's okay. You could have a good time with it, but it definitely has some severe flaws that really hold it back, including a very bad story that you kind of just laugh at, and you're playing a Dragon Quest game, so you kind of need a decent story. So yep, a 6 out of 10. You know, let me know what your favorite Dragon Quest game below is. It could be even this one if you want to disagree with me completely. And everybody else, have a nice day.
Or anything should be plain sailing. That is, unless our cool, calm, and collected friend here decides to try and do the talking for us.
You have nothing to fear on that front.